My favorite iPad 9 accessories fall into several categories. I need to protect my iPad, I need to make sure that I have enough battery life, I want some accessories to help me when I'm gaming, and then I also need a few items when I want to expand the functionality of my iPad. I'm also going to tell you about one accessory that I spent a lot of money on, I really don't like it, and I would not recommend. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to put on my iPad 9 is a case, and I'm doing that for 3 reasons. So number one, I want to protect the back of the device and the camera so that neither of them gets all scratched up. Number two, I want to protect the display when I'm storing the iPad or when I'm transporting it in a bag. And then number three, I want to be able to prop the iPad up when I'm viewing content or when I'm using the Apple Pencil. Now there are a lot of trifold cases available and I really like this particular green, so that's what I chose for the iPad 9. It has a solid clear hard shell on the back, a soft material on the inside, and then the exterior has a really nice feel to it. Now the next accessory is optional, but it's a good idea if you're getting this iPad for a kid, if you plan on taking it on jobs with you where it could get damaged, or if you're just like me and you're clumsy. And I'm talking about a screen protector. So essentially there are 2 different types. There's clear and then paper feel. The clear one you can barely notice is even there. And it has an impact on how responsive the display is, both for touch and for the Apple Pencil. Now, if you're an artist or if you take a lot of notes with the Apple Pencil, you may want a surface that's a little less slippery and has more of the feel that you get from drawing or writing on a piece of paper. And that's where you may want to go with a paper-like option. It's textured, so there's a little more friction when you move the pencil. It's also a lot less reflective than the display itself or the clear screen protector, so it helps eliminate distracting glare. And it's much less susceptible to those fingerprints that make your display look gross. Now, if you watched my iPad battery drain test, you saw how well the iPad 9 performed. In general, I don't like worrying about battery life. I think it's frustrating when you have something to do or you just want to keep playing and you need to deal with low battery. When it comes to charging my iPad 9, I use these 2 accessories from Baseus, which are different from similar types of chargers that I used in the past. And I'd like to thank Baseus for sending these to me and for sponsoring this video. Now, Apple does include a charger with the iPad 9, and it includes a USB-C to Lightning cable, but I don't like occupying an outlet with one power adapter because I'm always charging so many devices. So on my desk, I've been using the PowerCombo 65-watt GaN III charger/power strip, which at first glance looks like my previous charger, but it's not, and I'll show you why I switched in just a minute. So first, it has a long cable that I can plug behind my desk and then run the actual unit under my monitors and use much shorter charging cables. We've got 2 USB-C ports with a maximum output of 65 watts, then 2 USB-A ports. The orange one can deliver up to 60 watts, and then the black one can deliver up to 5 watts. Now here's why I switched. The GaN III tech allows for smaller components. So now on each side, I have an additional port that essentially makes this thing double as a power strip. So in those situations where I need more power than these ports can deliver, for example, if I want to use the 140 watt power adapter for my 16-inch MacBook Pro with MagSafe, I can just plug it into one of these outlets, charge 4 accessories from the front, get 140 watts going to my MacBook Pro, and then still have one outlet for things like a camera or drone battery charger. I'm thinking of getting 2 more of these and then setting up a dedicated charging station, and when I do that, I'll post that on my TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. When I'm on the go, I now bring this 20,000 milliamp hour 65 watt power bank, which has 1 USB-C port and 2 USB-A ports. So this way I can charge 3 accessories at once. What I really like about this model is that I can charge it using USB-C or micro USB. Now, most of the time this doesn't really matter because if I'm in the office or in the studio, I always have a USB-C cable laying around. But if I'm ever somewhere without my charger and if I have to borrow a cable, it's great to have both options. I use this to charge my iPad 9, my iPhone 13 Pro, and even something like my MacBooks. So I always have a power bank with me when I'm working away from the office or when I travel. Now, on a completely superficial level, I really like this brushed aluminum matte midnight blue finish and the red numbers on the display. Like I said, I know it's superficial, but I still like it. The next accessory is one that I use to get the most out of my iPad, and then I'm going to tell you about the accessory I don't recommend. So first, I do a ton of typing on my iPad, like whether I'm doing research for a video, managing email, responding to text messages, or replying to comments, which I try to do as much as possible. So it was absolutely imperative for me to get a keyboard case. Now, the one that I actually use is this Logitech Slim Folio. Has a hard shell all the way around, so it's super protective. Has a nice keyboard that's comfortable to type on. It also has a full row of function keys at the top, so you can control display brightness, bring up spotlight search, and there are multimedia and volume controls. There's also a sleeve for the first generation Apple Pencil, so I can bring it with me. I don't have to worry about losing it. Ultimately, I feel like I can be so much more productive with an actual keyboard, and since I know that I need to protect my iPad regardless, this is what I use most of the time. Now, the one that I spent a lot of money on and I don't recommend is the Apple Smart Keyboard. I think it was $159 when I got it. It doesn't protect the back of the iPad. The keys themselves are kind of small and they're not super comfortable to type on. There are no function keys and there's nowhere to store the Apple Pencil. The one nice feature that it has is that it doesn't require power. But I bought it because I wanted to test it and share my results with you guys. I tested it for a few days and then never used it again. Moving on, if you're not someone who uses a case, you need to get one of these stands. It's super inexpensive. I love the fact that you can position your iPad or your phone in any angle that you want. It also works with my other iPad, so I can use it with anything from the iPad Mini 6 to the iPad Pro. This is a helpful accessory in the kitchen because you can easily move it around and it's super stable. It's also great for video calls because you have so much more control of the angle, and the trifold case that I sometimes use isn't always the best angle for every situation. Now it's time to talk about a couple of gaming accessories because the A13 Bionic chip has been plenty powerful for any of the games that I've tried to play so far. The iPad 9 only has speakers on one side when you're holding it in landscape mode, so it's not the best option when you need to hear where footsteps are coming from. That's why I'm always going to be using a headset, and I love the fact that the iPad 9 still has a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now I've been using the Corsair HS60 and they've worked great. They're super comfortable, plenty loud, the audio quality is fantastic, and the mic sounds great. For some games, I like to add a gaming controller. For something like COD Mobile, I'll use the PlayStation DualShock 4. If I'm mainly playing games from Apple Arcade, I sometimes use the SteelSeries Nimbus Plus, and if I'm playing a game with Xbox Game Pass, then I pair my Xbox controller. All of them have worked great for me, so it really comes down to what games you like to play. Now, if I don't have my headset with me, or if I'm just listening to music, then I'm using my first or third generation AirPods most of the time. The first and second gen ones fit my ears the best, but the third gens have better audio. And if you want to see my review of those, watch this video right here. Now, every once in a while, if I want much better audio and I want noise cancellation, then I throw on the AirPods Max. Now, these are definitely more of a luxury than a need. They sound great, but unless you're looking for outstanding transparency mode or you really want the Apple ecosystem integration, you can find less expensive options that still have excellent noise cancellation and sound great. For example, right now you can get a pair of the Sony WH-1000 XM3 for under $200, or the newer XM4s for $250, which is still half the price of the AirPods Max. Now, before I get to one of my all-time favorite accessories, I want to talk about a set of accessories that I use to allow me to do more than I ever thought I could with the iPad 9. I already mentioned that I use the first generation Apple Pencil, and it's an accessory that I didn't think that I would use, but I end up using it all the time. Now next, because the iPad 9 has a Lightning port, I still have a set of dongles that expand its functionality. So I've got a card reader so I can transfer images and video. I've got an HDMI dongle if I want to use an external display, and a USB adapter for connecting accessories like an external SSD. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the Lightning port doesn't provide as much power as a USB-C port. So not every external SSD is going to work. And I'll put a few in the description that I know will work for you. Now, the next accessory is one that I use with a few of my other iPads. It's absolutely awesome, and remember that I have links in the description to all the products that I talked about. So this is the TOMTOC PADFOLIO, and it's a protective case and a tech bag in one. So first, there's a compartment on the back where I can fit the iPad 9 with a case or even with the keyboard case like the Logitech Slim Folio. Then there's another compartment where I can store a lot of the accessories that I talked about in this video. And I love how much stuff I can keep in the PADFOLIO and the fact that everything is strapped down and the accessories are separated from the iPad 9 so it won't get damaged. Now you should check out how the iPad 9 compares with the iPad Mini 6. Hopefully this video was helpful. Click on my face to subscribe. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.